What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard with the Gaming Brigade, back with another Division 2 video. And my friends, this is a video I've been trying to put together for the longest time. I have not had any luck whatsoever farming for the Bighorn. However, I took some advice from you, my lovely YouTube family. I tried a few things out, so today I wanted to share the results with you. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, do me a favor, my friends, hit that like button. It really does help us out. So as most of you know by now, you can only get the Bighorn on legendary content. Now, when the weapon first came out, you could only get it from missions. However, they did introduce it into the summit. As you can see, that's what I'm playing here. Now, I put out a video a while back, and I'll put a link to it in the description down below, but it's a video showing you one of my favorite ways to farm for named bosses in the summit. And I talked about trying to farm, floor 60, 70, 80, and so on, because that's where you seem to get the best loot possible. With that being said, in the comment section of that video, a lot of you recommended that I farm floor 10 of the summit on legendary with at least 4 directives. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I haven't tried that as yet. It can't hurt. And my friends, I finally sat down to do it yesterday and I could not believe the results. So there happen to be a few things I'd like to mention as we start off. First of all, as I said before, I have never gotten the weapon to drop for me. I do have one Bighorn. However, it was given to me from another player who had it drop for them in the summit. I was totally freaking out. I was thankful. I scooped that thing up so damn fast. But anyway, that's the only time I've actually seen the weapon drop in the game. The other thing you're going to notice is that the Golden Bullet event is active during this gameplay. However, that event has no impact whatsoever on the drop rate of anything in the game. It may help you with the build or something like that, but as far as what you're actually getting from NPCs, it will have no effect on it whatsoever. With all that being said, let's get into the farming method itself. Now, when I started to make this video, my goal was to do this at least 20 times to see if I could get one Bighorn to drop. Now, obviously, you can see I'm on level 10 of the summit legendary difficulty, and I have 5 directives active. You'll also notice that I'm using 2 different builds during this video. The first one which you're looking at is my Foundry Build, and this is my go-to build for legendary content in the summit because you're a complete and total bullet sponge. Like, just keep your back to the wall and no one's going to get through that shield whatsoever. It's an absolute monster. The second build you'll see is also a Foundry build based around the SCORPIO shotgun. Obviously, I had to switch shields so I could use the SCORPIO as my primary, and at the end of the video, I'll go over the details of the builds themselves. Now, back to the footage you're looking at. All you want to do for this farming method is get yourself to floor 10 of the summit. You're going to get through the first wave of NPC, then you'll see the named boss. Once you take them out, you will then fast travel back to the summit lobby and rinse and repeat. Now, the boss you just saw me take out was my first attempt on floor 10 using this method, and for a brief second I thought it might be the Bighorn, but always remember, when you set your targeted loot for assault rifles, one of 3 assault rifles can drop at any time. It could be the Capacitor, the Chameleon, or the Bighorn, and unfortunately you cannot choose which one you're looking for. It's a luck of the draw, so hopefully while you're farming you actually get the one you're looking for. Now, one thing I'd like to mention really quick as we move on is I chose to farm all of these bosses in succession, and I suggest you do the same thing. Now, I do not guarantee that is going to make the Bighorn drop, but again, I want to show you exactly what I did to get the results. You can see here that my shade level is at 2117, and by the end of the video, it barely cracks 2118. And the only reason I point this out is for continuity, so you can see I'm doing exactly what I'm recommending, which is farming a boss, going back to the lobby as many times as it takes. Now, going back to something I said earlier, my initial plan when doing this video was to farm floor 10 until I got the Bighorn to drop. And as you can see, my first attempt I got the Capacitor, second attempt there was no exotic, third there was no exotic. However, on the 4th, the Bighorn finally did drop. And not only that, but 2 attempts later, the Bighorn dropped again, and I have never seen that happen. Like, I've never seen it drop in the game, which brings me to another important point, which is when you play the game, my friends, it's all RNG. Sometimes you're going to have great sessions and other times not so much. And keep in mind, I say that based on my own personal gameplay. I've farmed farmed floor 90 like 20-30 times in a row and got nothing. However, you can see here I farmed floor 10 6 times in a row, got 3 exotics, 2 of which were bighorns. And as we make our way into the build breakdowns, there are a few more things I'd like to mention really quick. First of all, always remember that each player's experience is going to be different. You know, I hear from people saying floor 90 is the only way to go. I didn't have success there, and I've also heard from people who can farm legendary missions back to back and get it to drop non-stop. So again, my friends, keep trying different variations. I just wanted to show you something that worked for me where I didn't have any success before. Last but not least, and this is something I recommend for new and returning players, use random matchmaking and let other gamers know what you're looking for. One of the best things about the game is this community, and there are so many times players want to share items that they don't actually need. That's how I got my first bighorn, so again, let people know what you're looking for. So as far as the builds are concerned, the Scorpio version and the handgun version are extremely similar. I'm starting with the Scorpio one now, then I'll switch to the handgun or just show you the actual, changes you need to make. Now I also have a more aggressive version of a shotgun build, and I will leave a link to that in the description down below. So I'm using the technician specialization for both of the builds you saw in this video, and that's for a few reasons. First of all, it gives you an extra 12% damage to drones, skill proxies, and robotics, but more importantly, it also gives you the ability to use the Artificer Hive, which really helps with your shield health. Now, as far as my weapons go for this version, I have the Scorpio shotgun, the apartment SMG, and the TDI card as the handgun. Moving on to the gear itself, you can see I'm using 4 Foundry and 2 Bellstones. Starting with the mask, it's the first of the 4 pieces of the Foundry set, and we're using all 4 so we get all of the gear set bonuses. And as you can see here, the 2-piece bonus gives you 10% total armor, the 3-piece bonus gives you 1% armor regen and 50% shield health, and the 4 pieces makeshift repairs. Whenever you or your shield take damage, 20% of that amount is repaired to both over 15 seconds. Moving on to the body armor, it's the first of 2 pieces of Bellstone we have equipped, and I'm using Intimidate because with this talent, when you have bonus armor, it amplifies weapon damage by 35% to NPCs within 10 meters, and with this build, you're always stalking them and you're always really close. Next, we have the holster, the knee pads, and the gloves, which are the 3 remaining Foundry pieces, and in all of these, I'm trying to stack armor regen as well as protection from elites. That really does help out, so if you have any of those mods, I strongly recommend adding as many as you can to the build. Finally, my friends, for the backpack, for both of the builds you saw in this video, I'm using the same one, which is a Bellstone with the talent Adrenaline Rush. And with that talent, whenever you are within 10 meters of an NPC, you're going to get some bonus armor. Now for me, I prefer using this bag over the Memento only because for these 2 particular builds, my time to kill is much slower than it normally is with a more aggressive build. And because of that, I'm not stacking those Memento trophies as quickly as I normally would. And with that being said, when I'm using Adrenaline Rush, I'm always within those 10 meters of an NPC, therefore the talent on my chest is always active, I'm always getting that extra armor as well as that extra damage bonus. Now at this point, I want to show you a few minor changes you make to go full Foundry, Bullet Sponge, Tank. I mean, you're just basically indestructible. Like I said, keep your back towards a wall, your shield is going to take a ton of damage. Now, if you are going to use one of the exotic handguns, that means you need to switch from your Scorpio to a different primary weapon. At this point, I'm going to switch from the TDI card to the Liberty. If you don't have the Liberty, stick to the TDI card. Use a talent like Close and Personal. It will help out a lot. Now, when it comes to your body armor, you switch to Douglas and Harding, and in my opinion, keep the same talent, Intimidate. Last but not least, my friends, you change the shield. You go from the Crusader shield over to the Bulwark, and you can see the comparison between the actual amount of armor you have as well as the armor regeneration. It's absolutely insane how powerful the shield is now once you make the switch, and again, you totally become a bullet sponge. With all that being said, my friends, I want to start to wrap this video up. It is Christmas Eve, so if you do celebrate this holiday, I want to wish you and your family and loved ones, whether it's people, cats, dogs, birds, turtles, whatever it may be, a safe and Merry Christmas. I hope you're surrounded by love, and I sincerely appreciate all the support you've given the channel. If you could also do me a favor, my friends, let me know if this method works for you. I think most of you know one of my favorite things here at the channel is to try to help out gamers in any way I can, so if you wind up farming the spot and you wind up getting the Bighorn, please let me know as well. Like I said at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button. But most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.